standing in the shadows of an old love affair. I know I should forget you, but there's memories everywhere. Yes, I know that you are gone forever, and I'm standing in the shadows of your love.
Something in the water taught me how to crawl. Something in the water taught me how to fall. Something in
Well, hey, everybody, it's another Something in the Water podcast, and we welcome you. I'm Uncle Dave Griffin, along with Sean Clark, co-hosting this episode, and we've got our old buddy, Mr. Darowyn Lee, a musician from around these parts that I heard about before I was even in music. So, hey, Darowyn, we're glad to have you, buddy.
Oh, it's good to be here with you today.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And I appreciate the gifts there. We got some Darowyn Lee. These are some of your recent works.
It is.
Yeah. I reckon we can
show
them.
What camera?
Or actually, we can hand them off to Justin over there, and he can get them on there. But yeah, so you've been at this. I think we exchanged ages out in the parking lot. We've met each other maybe a time or two, not a whole lot, and we exchanged ages out in the front yard there. So you was 11-year-old when I was born in 1953.
Yeah.
And so that put you born in about 1941.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 41.
For 11 or 12 when I was born. And Sean came along in the
74.
74.
So I was about 11 when he came along. So we got this kind of numbers thing going on here, folks. When this is over, we're going to go play the lottery.
4s and 11s.
4s and 11s. Oh, boy. So I'll tell you, let's see. My first memory was along about the late 60s, early 70s. I was sharing a class. One of my classmates out at Ware County High School was a feller known as William Fales.
Oh, yeah.
And he used to tell me he was the bass player for Darowyn Lee and the Southern Keys. So that was my introduction to your name and that name, that band name, the Southern Keys.
He was 13.
He was 13. Where's that picture at, Sean?
When he was playing.
There it is, right over there.
Playing with me, yeah.
Hey, I'm going to pass that over to Darowyn. I'm going to look at it real quick. Lee. Oh. Okay. Now, hold that up. Aim it right there at that camera right there.
Okay.
There you go. And that on the, folks, on the far right hand of that picture is said classmate, Willie Fales, Pineapple Willie, William Fales. He is no longer with us, unfortunately.
Right.
But he could talk the tits off a boar hog. He could talk.
Yeah,
And that
sure could.
Right next to him is Mr. Darowyn Lee. That picture was probably in the late 60s, 67, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
Probably. And recognize that feller on the far left, I think. Do you recall who that is? If you,
Yeah.
is there names on the back?
No.
Oh, okay. He looks like.
Well, I don't know. There may be.
He looks like somebody from Ware County High School.
No, they're not. He was. I can't right off the top of my head. I
me
can't
see
think
it
of his
again.
name, Dave.
Doggone, he looks familiar. Of course, they
Uh,
all did at that time. So you had the Southern Keys was made up of bass.
it was bass, lead guitar, drums, and piano. I played piano.
Okay.
The boy that played with us for some time, a good bit,
Mm-hmm.
that played drums, and that's the boy there that played drums. But
The one on the far left.
yeah,
Okay.
and then of course you got Roger on there,
Oh, that's Roger. Okay, I knew
Yeah.
Roger. Yeah,
right?
Roger Douglas.
Douglas,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Well, there, Roger Douglas. He was the lead guitar player.
He was
He would have been a lead
player,
guitar player,
yeah.
and you played acoustic.
And Rocky Mixon
I remember him.
played
Yeah.
drums with us for a long time.
That would have been more recent, more like the
Yeah,
80s or so.
and
probably.
then Bucky Buchanan played drums with us too.
I know Bucky too, David Buchanan.
Yeah,
Where was this taken? Do you remember?
that was taken at the VFW in Douglas, Georgia.
Okay. VFW in Douglas.
We played over there, Dave, 5 years every Saturday night.
I bet you that was some good money for a 13-year-old high school boy.
Yeah.
Or steady at least. And y'all looked like you had the equipment too.
We did.
Fender amps and you can tell what that is over there.
Roger used a custom at one time.
Custom. Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
as a matter of fact, that thing fell out the back of the trailer going over there one night.
Oh,
And, back then they were padded.
Pleated,
Ple-
rolled
right.
and pleated. Was
Rolled,
it that?
yeah.
That stuff.
And
yeah.
we were riding along here, and that thing come out, and evidently I didn't had a U-Haul trailer, Anyway, I stopped and got it, and I told Roger, I said, "Well, you won't play through that tonight," and he said, "Probably not." It just rolled, going down in the ditch, and we got it out and wiped it off, and got over there and plugged it up. And it played just as good as it ever did. So custom's good stuff.
yeah, that's good.
Right. That's a good advertisement for them. Rolled and pleated. You can roll it.
Was it a Naugahyde or?
Well, it was that. Yeah, it was. I guess you'd call that Naugahyde or plastic of some kind.
It was a type of plastic.
Yeah. It was pretty though. They'd come out with different colors and sparkles.
Blue sparkle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used the sound system also custom
Custom.
back then.
Mhm. Custom was a big name long about then.
Yeah.
My first band was with Billy Ray Heron, and we went down and bought Casino, which was, I think, made by Custom, spelled with a K, Casino.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I believe it was a PA, and the amplifiers we bought were it wasn't the rolled and pleated jobs. It was Casino, a subsidiary of Custom. But later I played through one of them rolled and pleated. It was just simple black, but good sounding little amp.
Yeah.
So So let me ask you this. That was a pretty good story about the amp rolling out during the trip over. But what's maybe one of the funniest things that's ever happened to you in your whole life of music? Or one of the most embarrassing things, or maybe if you got a story about both.
Oh man. Oh.
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
First of all, let's establish this, how long you have been playing. What was your very first band that you put together that actually maybe made a little bit of money?
High school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Must have been 58.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little group called the Rebel Rousers.
Rebel Rousers.
Yeah.
Well,
And we played we'd play fraternities up in Athens.
Doggone.
And
Y'all was on the road even then.
we had a good little group, and
58.
so that's
I
the
suppose.
first is that that I can
Yeah.
remember.
Y'all
That
probably made some
playing.
pretty decent money with that too.
it was fair
Playing
back then.
fraternities, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
they paid pretty good,
Mm-hmm. And I would assume you were about 16, 17, long in there, 40, 41.
I was 17.
Yeah, 17 years old right there. And that would have been the heyday of Elvis. Rock and roll
Mhm.
Elvis had come out in 56. And it was just all that brand new music was everywhere.
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis and Johnny Cash and
Well, I played a lot of Jerry Lee Lewis stuff back
now,
then.
were you guitar or piano?
Huh?
Were you
Piano.
guitar or piano?
With my piano.
You were the pianist.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's right.
And even with the Southern Keys,
Yeah.
I always played.
Okay.
Piano's always been my main instrument.
I got you.
I just strummed the guitar.
I got you.
You know,
I
that's-
got you.
But back then we just we rocked it on out,
Mhm.
all that stuff, Jerry Lee Lewis and Fats Domino,
Yeah.
all them. Back then it was real big,
Oh yeah, yeah. And kids were eating it up. Teenagers were, and y'all's age and college age. Man, that must have been a time. Now, unfortunately, I wouldn't have got it, but I did. I was about 6 years old in '59, and it was long about then. I guess that we would go to the movies and see Elvis Presley and King Creole at the movies. Then get home and Mom and Daddy would go out and buy the album, the soundtrack, the songs on it. So me and my brother, 3 years old, you probably know Gary.
Oh yeah,
My brother, everybody
yeah, I know
does.
Gary. Yeah,
Uh,
known him a long time. Yeah.
he and I would be the recipients of those albums, even though it's Mom and Daddy probably buying the Elvis records because they enjoyed him. They would have been late 20s, early 30s by then. And so that's sure they could enjoy Elvis
Yeah.
at 30 years old. But me and my brother got to actually sit there and just study those albums and pore over them and listen to them over and over again. I love that King Creole record to this day because
Yeah.
it brings back so many fond childhood memories. Those songs do. But yeah, I mean, I knew that there was something special about Elvis. Even a child could see it, you know. You could see it in your older cousins, the way they would act around him, you know, when he'd come on the radio or whatever.
Yeah.
So you knew something special was happening there.
How old were you when you started playing keys? or any-
13.
13.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you were born right here in Waycross, Ware County,
Mm-hmm.
and lived in Ware County, just like the rest of us. You went to high school before Ware County had its first official high school. Was well,
I went to
Waycona.
in the 9th grade.
Yeah, would have been the pre. It would have been the high school. I guess it went all the way to 12, grade 12 at Waycona.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the official.
At one time. Yeah.
That was the official high school in Ware County at one time.
But I went to Bickley in grammar school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, out in Bickley.
You know where it's at?
I do. I do. That's home of the Dentons.
Yeah.
A lot of Dentons out
Yeah,
there.
Will and William, and
Mm-hmm.
of course that's William is Will's daddy. Will plays drums, you
Right.
know,
Will, the famous
up in Nashville.
drummer up in Nashville, played in a lot of Christian.
I used to
bands.
ride my bike from home over there just for exercise,
Mm-hmm.
and where I turned around, right there at William's house, Will would be in there just tearing them drums. You could hear him out there on the highway. I mean, they couldn't have been anybody in there because they couldn't have stood it, you know. He'd be working on them drum, boy.
Yeah. Well, it paid off for him now.
Yeah.
Sure did. Oh boy. So the original Ware County High School was built and had its first class. Was it 58, 59 or 59, 60?
59 was the first class.
59 was the first graduating class.
Right.
That's the same school I graduated from. And
But it wasn't in 59.
no, it was if you do 12 years later in 1971.
Yeah.
So there you go with that magic number again. And let's see. Do you recall some of the other bands? Well, I mean, actually, your first, the Southern Keys, when was that put together? In about 60?
Let's see. That was in late 60s.
Late 60s. And you used to play the Douglas VFW
Yeah.
every Saturday night.
And
Did you ever play anywhere local? Waycross?
we did. We played some in South Florida.
Oh.
There used to be and I don't know where it's still down there or not,
Mhm.
but Six Gun Territory or something like that.
Oh,
down there.
yeah, I do remember that.
And we
Yeah.
played that thing, and but before the Waymakers, Dave, I played with a group out of where they were scattered, but we played down in Brunswick at the VFW.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse Robertson played lead guitar, and Pee Wee Word. I mean, Yeah.
Pee Wee.
Pee Wee played steel. You remember Pee Wee?
I remember a Pee Wee. No, he was a drummer.
No, Pee Wee Word.
There was a Pee Wee that played drums in William Fales' 3-piece rock and roll band that played at the Steakhouse Lounge back in the.
And there was a Larry Hendricks
Larry Hendricks.
from Waycross here played bass.
That name sounds
And I
familiar.
played keyboard, and we played down at the in Brunswick.
Yeah, what was y'all called there?
I don't remember what we. I just I played with them. In other words,
Okay. I
you
got
know
you.
they.
Now you mentioned Waymakers. Is that your current group?
No, that was a gospel group that I was with.
Oh, okay.
That was Roger Prevatt. You know Roger.
Yeah.
Roger and Mary
Mama.
Lou, his mama, Mary Lou.
Uh-huh.
It was Mary Lou and Carol Thomas that I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm.
They used to work at the post office.
Oh, yeah,
So it was,
yeah.
So it was Carol and Mary Lou and me
Yeah.
that sang, and I played the piano, and Roger blew the harp, and Kenny Vining, he played bass, and
Yeah.
that was the Waymakers, and that was about 5-year stint,
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, you've been playing music your whole life, kind of like me, kind of like you.
I have.
And I ain't regretted a single bit of it myself.
No.
It's been a fascinating experience,
And of course, now I just, for the most part, sing and play by myself. I got tracks from my CDs, and when I go to church, I can set up and play.
Sing along with your tracks.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I need to do too.
I use an instant replay machine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with one or not, but I download them in it
Mm-hmm.
and just bump the button and it's gone.
Computerized.
It's
That's the beauty of it nowadays.
Do you play keys along with it, or you just
no,
sing?
I just play the guitar with it, with the tracks. Yeah. Of course, the last CD that I done in Nashville was Catherine. She played keyboard on it. She works the Opry a lot, and real good piano player. And of course all them pickers up there. Pretty good pickers.
Yeah. So you cut it in Nashville?
Yeah.
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 What's the girl's name? Catherine
Hicks.
Hicks.
Her husband,
Ain't Russ, is it?
he's like I think maybe like the band director for the house band at the Opera House.
Oh, cool.
So they get a double whammy,
Mm-hmm.
But
You remember Jerry Gowan from Folkestone?
yeah,
He was on one of our episodes.
yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah, he
house
actually
director?
he was like a director up there, music director, and
Yeah.
he shared all of that with us. A lot of good history there, and he had a lot of pictures. Speaking of pictures, let's I had to talk. I forgot to email you, Justin. So 15 minutes before our broadcast, coming in here to record, I had to call my wife, who's not real computer literate, and talk her into how to attach files and email. 101. She did it good. All right, let's go to skip the picture starting with that one. Let's see. Skip on down to Daddy, I guess, or Mr. Lee. We'll start with that one. Yeah, this would have been, I'm assuming this was your daddy right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got to come from somewhere.
Where'd you steal that?
Huh?
Where'd you
I was hopscotching on the internet. No, I just went to your Facebook page and
okay.
looked through your pictures and just kind of copied the ones that I felt like we could
Man,
talk
y'all look
about.
alike, huh?
I'd say that you was blessed with the Lee thing. You got that Lee thing, didn't you?
Yeah. I think so.
He's a handsome man. That's your daddy.
Yeah.
I'd say 10s or 15s or maybe even early 20s when that picture was taken.
He was probably a little older than that.
Yeah.
Dave. Probably 25, I imagine.
25. What was his birth year? About 1900?
Yeah, let's see. He passed away in 1985.
1985.
So he was 71.
71. It'd have been 14. 1914.
Mm-hmm.
Or 1904. 71. No, it'd been 14. Born in about 1914. He's 25. That'd have been in the 30s, yeah. Was he? I saw an older picture of him on your website on a tractor. So
Right.
is he a farm? Oh, there it is. I didn't think I saved that one.
And that's on the cover of a CD I got. I put him on it.
How about that?
I didn't have that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was a farmer. And then, of course, he had a store on Albany Avenue, Lee Feed and Seed.
Lee Feed and Seed. How
Yeah.
about that? That was your
Wow.
daddy.
Yep. Purdy Lee.
Purdy Lee.
Perdie.
Purdy. That was his real name.
C.P. Lee.
C.P.
Clyde Purdy Lee.
Okay. Clyde Purdy Lee.
Yeah.
They had some names back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
There was Ronnie Griffin's daddy was named Early. Like he's always early.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Early Griffin. You remember Ronnie Griffin that built the guitars and worked on the guitars
Yeah.
around here. Well, my uncles were Carters from Hoboken, which you might have been around the age. Well, Vance Carter. I don't know if you've ever heard of that name.
Yeah.
He worked out at the
Didn't he work out at Channel 8?
TV station. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And was a
With Knox Carricker.
Knox Carricker.
Yeah.
And was very much into the ham radio life, and his older brother was Royce Carter,
Right.
who was
Royce lived in Blackshear.
lived in Blackshear, and
I knew Royce.
he's passed away now. And Vance is the only remaining sibling of my mother's. So now Royce was a legendary type character. He was mythical almost around these parts, around the whole state. I mean, he was just known. He had them Rock Hudson good looks. He was like in the early 60s. You got the physique and the look and everything of a Hollywood movie star, and he was from a farm in Hoboken, but he was a playboy too. And there's a story after story. I can run into people. I'll bring his name up, and they'll have a story to tell me. And they're pretty funny. He was funny too. He was a joker. He was a character. But let's see what other pictures we got up there in the assorted pics. Justin, what about that one, Darwin?
Yeah, that's that was a group that we had, and I'm trying to think what we called ourselves.
Yeah, this one didn't have a name on it, but there was people commenting saying, "Ain't that so and so?" What's the caption on there? Did I write them boys' names? Was it? Okay.
The one on the front there is Buddy Vaughn, played steel.
Buddy Vaughn.
He played.
Okay.
Buddy played with me for a long time, and gosh,
Yeah. There was some comments off to the side of this picture, and I didn't write them down, but they was all women. That comment said, "Weren't that so and so?" And who was that? And somebody come on there and said, "That was so and so. Died in a car wreck or something." One of them did, but I can't remember their names either.
They Buddy was. He was just a great steel player. He'd done a good job. And always, like I say, we played together a long time.
Mm-hmm. Was that a local group?
Mm-hmm.
Waycross?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember where y'all would?
Buddy lived in Douglas.
Okay. You remember where y'all would have played in that band? Would have been.
About every dive there was around here.
Yeah.
You know, back, well, you old enough to remember.
Yeah.
Hubs,
Yeah.
Steve's Pine Room.
Yeah.
I played with, you remember Jim Cox and Hubert?
Oh, yeah. The Coxes, yeah.
I played with them, with Jim and Hubert.
Yeah.
When I was, gosh, probably 15.
Really?
Out there at the 121 Club, out from Hoboken.
Yeah.
You go to Hoboken, turn right.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's not there now, but yeah. And they used to have a program on WACL.
They did.
Jim and Hubert, yeah. And I'd play with them on the radio station.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever play the Peppermint Lounge?
I have. Bobby Gay.
Bobby Gay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a Saturday night
he had it live.
radio performance.
Yeah.
On one of them stations. I can't remember which, but I'd listen to it occasionally.
But you know, Gary, I didn't play, but just very few times with Bobby. He wanted me to go ahead and play piano,
Mm-hmm.
you know, with him.
You just kind of sit in.
I didn't.
Yeah. Was that place called Howard's Peppermint Lounge?
It was.
It's funny to me. I was thinking about that. How back in those days, 50s and 60s, I guess, was all the clubs around here, you put your name on the front of it. Howard's Peppermint Lounge, Steve's Pine Room, Hubs.
And then also
Alfonso's
Herman
Steakhouse
Todd.
Lounge. Who?
Herman Todd had on 121
Mm-hmm.
over there out of Blackshear.
Well,
He had a club there, and I played that a good bit. And
it's called Herman's.
and then the Bowl
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that place in
Blackshear.
Blackshear.
Used to play that. Like I say, back then, there wasn't many places I didn't play around here. You know?
Yeah.
Was there a lot other local acts at the time, or were they coming in from other places?
Yeah, they were local, some local acts. Yeah.
Claude Goebel had a band called the Starlight Ramblers, or
Yeah, that
something.
that was really before my time.
That was well before your time too. That was probably the
and
40s and 50s.
and back and then I played, you know, I couldn't even tell you the name what he went by, Howard Kirkland and whatever, but I played with him. You remember Howard
I don't remember.
Kirkland? I played with
Now
him.
that last name is synonymous with music, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if that might have been Josh's granddaddy or something. You remember a Ronnie Kirkland that played organ, keyboards in some of the early 60s garage bands, rock and roll groups.
I don't guess.
Ronnie Kirkland. He had a son
Seems like I've heard the
named
name.
Josh Kirkland. And Josh Kirkland is one of the best lead guitar players anywhere around. And he's from here, too.
Yeah, I know Josh.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering if that could have been maybe part of his roots or something, Howard Kirkland.
And my granddaughter's husband plays with Josh.
That's right.
Sam Johnson.
Cue the wedding picture. There we go.
Okay.
That's old Josh's. That's Sam Johnson, the bass player for was Traveling Riverside Band,
Mm-hmm.
and also plays a lot in Josh Kirkland's.
Good singer.
Yes, he is a really good singer. So that's your daughter, granddaughter.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's
Jessica.
And
that's my wife.
And that's your wife,
Deborah.
Deborah. Y'all been together, you and Deborah, for
47 years.
47. That's the long-suffering Deborah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where was that at? That looks like over in Alma or something.
It was over at a lake.
Blackshear?
No, it was out from Baxley.
Baxley, okay.
Yeah. Jessica sit with those people's daughter. She was, sickly, and they hired her to sit with them.
Okay.
With her, and of course, right here recently, she passed away. The girl did, but anyway, they wanted to have it their place,
in their backyard.
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's pretty. All right, let's see what other pictures we can jog our memory with. Okay, I wanted to ask you about this. Now, that got to be Benton Lee's.
It was.
I want to go back there so bad. You ever been?
No.
Oh, my gosh. Sean, we need to go.
Where is it?
On a Wednesday or Thursday or something. I don't know. We have to check and find out when they're open now. It's in the middle of nowhere. You go all the way to Hazelhurst, hang a right there where we usually go straight around that curve to go to Athens or wherever. You hang a right there at that red light, and you go crook and cranny, turn left, right, out in the middle. All of a sudden, you see the nuclear plant in the distance, and you say, "Are we lost?" And then you're getting closer.
You go through Baxley.
There's probably two ways to get
cross
there.
the Alma Hall.
Yeah.
And when you cross the Alma Hall, you go down that first paved road to the left and go down there. It's on the river.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on the river. It's called Benton Lee's Steakhouse.
And I'm not any kin to them.
I was fixing to say, you get half price, don't you? Look at this. Now, them steaks, they're huge, perfection. They come out on these big old silver platters. They ain't no plate. They just got big old silver platter full of steak and fries.
They come out of a big cow.
And a little old tiny bowl of salad and probably a roll or a toast or something. And I'm telling you, you will not eat it all there. You'll be taking that home and you'll be eating on it for several days.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, it's
a big one.
At one time, it burned or partially burned, and
it did.
Closed down for a while. But I hadn't kept up with it. But it's been a long time since we've been.
Well, we hadn't either until that night, and it years and years and years,
Benton Lee's, folks, in southern Georgia. It's one place you won't want to miss. And they're our new, we're going to be doing a commercial for them after this. I'm sure once they hear that they're all over our podcast, if they get a crowd of customers, y'all tell them you saw it on Something in the Water when you go eat there.
That's right.
And that'll make us look good. Okay. Everybody has to have a profile now, a headshot. There's synonymous with the music business. That one, that's a good looking. Well, it's a good looking quality picture, and it's a good looking head of hair too.
Well,
You've always had that, ain't you?
yeah, well, yeah, until recently. Of course, I still got a good bit of
Yeah.
hair, but it's
I
nothing like that.
Grant you
know.
got more than I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the old publicity photo. Okay. Let's see. All right. Tell us about this one now.
Me and Claude Goebel and and George Lee brought Loretta
Paul's
Lynn,
granddaddy.
brought her to Waycross, and we backed her up.
Now, this her that he's talking about, you can't really recognize it for them. Tell them who it is.
The what?
Tell them who that woman is.
Loretta Lynn.
Wow.
That's Marty Cox on drums.
Right. Marty played drums.
That's you
with us.
directly behind Loretta.
Right.
I guess that's Claude over there.
No, Claude actually didn't play anything.
Oh, he didn't.
George did.
Is that George?
I think so. Yeah. But
George is that same George Lee that worked at Choo Choo Supply for a while? You remember, or do you remember that in the mid '70s?
George worked at the railroad.
He did. Okay, I'm wondering, would this be the same George though? Was he from Brantley County?
Yeah.
I bet you did. And he played. Did he play fiddle too?
No.
No, just guitar.
Just
That's
guitar.
Paul's granddaddy. Paul Lee's granddaddy.
And are you kin to Paul Lee?
Paul Lee had the
Were you kin to that Lee?
music. Were you kin to George Lee at
No.
all? Okay.
No. It was George and Glenn Lee down there.
They were brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to check into that, make certain that we're talking about the same one, but I figure a George Lee from Brantley County that played music is probably bound to be him.
And right off the top of my hat, that was at the City Auditorium, and it seemed like she charged $700.
Wow.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
And she went from 700 to
7,000 in a hurry.
worse than that.
Oh, yeah.
70,000.
70 probably, yeah.
Let's see. I wonder how old she would have been right along in there.
She was.
What year would that have been?
She's
reckon?
probably 25 or 26, 8.
It'd probably been
somewhere
in
in
the 60s, probably.
Was Dewey with her?
No.
Uh.
No, I think he. I think she had that coal miner's daughter at that time.
Looks like she's playing a Fender
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
acoustic guitar.
Got that straight head on it.
Mm-hmm. Can't tell who the bass player is over there. He's off camera. I think that's a bass. It looks like four.
Could have been William.
Could have been old William Fales.
Pineapple Willie.
She's singing something right at the top of her voice right there.
Something out of D.
Yeah. She was right pretty too.
Now, her sister was there that night. No, her brother. Her brother was there that night, and he sung a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I can't even remember his name.
Crystal Gale was her sister
Yeah.
too, right? Yeah.
J. Lee Webb. That's who it was. Her brother. That was her brother's name. J. Lee Webb.
J. Lee Webb.
Crystal Gale was her sister.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that.
Younger. Might have been youngest sister. Sure, he says. Don't it make my brown eyes blue? Okay. See what's. Okay, now. There's the.
That looks like the killer himself. Right?
That's decked out right there. You remember the suit?
Yeah.
What now? This black and white photograph.
I remember
what
where I got
color
it.
was it?
Green.
Green. Okay.
I remember where I got it.
Where?
Ralph Umusky.
Where's that?
Goodman's.
You remember him?
Yeah, I remember the name. That was on the corner of Tebow Street. The building is still there. It's now probably just some old thrift store or what have you, if it ain't even tore down by now. But if you're going down Tebow from State Street toward the post office and you come at that next traffic light, Albany Avenue there, just look to your right. That first building there on the corner would have been Goodman's.
That used to be across the street from Salvation Army before they tore it down.
I couldn't even tell you. I'm just picturing it in the 60s.
There've been several things in there, I think, since him.
It was called Goodman's.
Yeah.
And it was a men's store or just overall clothing store?
Yeah, he had things other than men.
Yeah.
But he ordered that for me.
Yeah. That's the closest you can get to a nudie suit without it being.
I'm sure it wasn't a nudie suit.
And your boots, that looks like some white and brown or something like that.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
That was a good looking outfit there. All right. Okay. Well, let's. How about this? We'll take a little quick break, and when we come back, you can strum a couple of songs on the guitar for us, and sing a couple for us. Would that be something we can do?
We'll work on it. Yeah.
All right. We'll be right back, folks, with Darowyn Lee.
Something in my brain won't let me stray. Something in my veins gonna find its way. Something in the water taught me how to pray. When that cold black water finds its way into your veins, you'll never be the same.
All right, we're back. And Darowyn Lee's going to play us some song. What you got here? Are you going to play for us?
Since we was talking about the Southern Keys, I'll do a song that I recorded that Roger and his wife Linda wrote at the time. And,
Roger Douglas, lead guitar player in the Southern Keys. Where was his cut? Where did y'all cut this?
In Nashville.
In Nashville?
Yeah.
All right, cool. What's the name of it?
I'm trying to think of it.
That's all right. We'll figure that out.
Shadows of Your Love.
Shadows of Your Love. Okay, here we go.
My eyes light up each time I see your picture. Then I remember you're no longer here. You left me here alone for another, and I'm standing in the shadows of your love, standing in the shadows of an old love affair. I know I should forget you, but there's memories everywhere. Yes, I know that you are gone forever, and I'm standing in the shadows of your love. I guess find a way to keep on living. 'Cause without your love, I've lost my will to live. Maybe someday I'll learn to forget you and stop standing in the shadows of your love. Standing in the shadows of an old love affair. I know I should forget you, but there's memories everywhere. Yes, I know that you are gone forever. And I'm standing in the shadows of your love. And I'm standing in the shadows of your love.
All right. Yes, sir.
Have you love?
That's country music right there, folks.
That's country, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You ever get something in your throat you can't get out?
I do it all the time. I had this recent thing where I was getting gagged a lot, and I went down to the what do they call those? No, it's more like a digestive, but the innards. They take care of all the inside stuff. And they stuck a thing down there and stretched my esophagus out.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, every time I get that done, I've had it done twice now, but when I get it done, that gagging thing goes away.
Uh-huh.
And as strange as can be, but I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah, it's I don't know. And of course, pollen's.
Yeah,
Pollen is terrible right now down here in South Georgia where we cut this podcast.
Yeah.
That was great, man.
It was a good song.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I got a lot of airplay out of it. In fact, it got me bookings when I was in Nashville. I lived up there a couple of years. And
So you actually moved to Nashville for a while?
Yeah.
And was that
I was up there a couple of years.
in the 60s, 70s?
I was in the 70s.
70s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I worked with Georgia Power till 71.
Mm-hmm.
And went to work with them in 61.
Okay.
So about 10 years.
What did you do down there, lineman?
Lineman.
Did you ever know Marcelle Wiles? She
Yeah.
had something to do with that's my aunt.
Yeah, I
That's
remember her.
my daddy's sister. Yeah.
Huh.
So the record business now, this is something that your daughter put together.
She did.
I'm gonna put it over here. Just a second. Justin. I'm gonna set that right there. That way.
towards you.
This way. Yeah. Anyhow, these are Darwyn's records
These are-
from I guess back in the 60s, 70s.
Mm,
One
No,
or the other.
late 70s.
Late 70s.
Yeah, because and those were those were. I lived in South Carolina at the time and worked up in a studio,
Yeah.
and that the guy I worked for up there in that studio was Colonel Herndon, and that was his label.
Okay.
He had a studio up there.
United. Oh. Looks like two of them's on the United label.
Right.
And one down here on the Swamper label.
Yeah, that was. You know whose label that was?
Jimmy
Walker.
Well, Jimmy Walker, the feller that was best friends with Chet Atkins.
Yep.
From Waycross. He was actually the caretaker or what? The manager of the Okefenokee Swamp Park.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way back in the day, and
great guitar player.
Great guitar player. Yeah, he wrote Obadiah,
King of the Swamp,
which was a pretty, I guess that record charted somewhere, or it was a big hit around here, and we were young kids, probably about 8 or 9 when that one came out, and it got a lot of local airplay. Obadiah, King of the Swamp, by Jimmy Walker.
So you used to go by D. Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Deelee.
Yeah,
D. Lee.
I recorded the country stuff under D. Lee. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And here's one on Talos 11. Talos 11.
Yeah.
Produced by Claude Goebel for Bob Ritter Productions. Mm-hmm. A song written by Claude Goebel called I Predict.
I Predict.
And this one was another Claude Goebel song on the Swamper label was This Time and One More.
Yeah.
And
one of them is Searching. You remember the old Coaster song, Searching?
Yeah. You did that one?
Yeah.
That's right up here. That was
I think it is, yeah.
Written by that couple of New York guys, Lieber and Stoller. And She Took Everything I Had But Me, another Claude Goebel original there. Well, that's great. Old Claude, he was a local. He was one that
he loved music.
He did love music.
He sure did.
I went to school with his boys, and
Bucky.
No, Claude and
Joey.
Joey was a year younger than me. Claude was a year older than me, or 2 years older than me. And I knew Claude best. But I knew Mr. Claude Goebel. And, he's the one that Graham Parsons, he worked for Snively's Box Factory. And Graham would go down there when he was a little kid and listen to the country band that was practicing at the Box Factory, and that was Claude's country band, the Starlight Ramblers.
He played used a tub with a stick in it and a string.
Wash tub.
Yeah, for the bass. Yeah.
Wash tub bass.
Yeah. You got another one for us, bud? You want to do?
I don't know.
Just whatever strikes you. I noticed on your CDs there's a lot of, you did a lot of covers, gospel songs of Vern Gosdin.
Yeah. This is a song that I wanted to record because it was some Merle Haggard song, but and it's on that CD, Gary. But it pretty much explains the way our country is this day and time.
All right.
Yeah, it's. Like the ancient Roman Empire, this world is doomed to fall. And our city streets are filled with angry men. Lord, now mockery around our troubled land. Destruction seems to be the current trend. This world has never been in the awful shape it's in. The leader seems in doubt what to do. It's time a prayer was spoken from the heart of every man. Jesus, take a hold and lead us through. Jesus, take a hold and lead us through.
Merle Haggard
That wasn't
song.
all of it, but
Yeah, I got
right.
you. That was good.
yeah,
That was a Merle Haggard song.
when he wrote, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That does kind of talk about the current situation of everything. Well, we appreciate you playing, man. I got time. We got time for a tale of the week that I wrote back when I was doing a little blog here a few years back.
Okay.
This one is talks about some of the old things we used to do around here. I'm sure, Darwin, we've already talked about some of that. And I left my glasses at home, so we're going to squint.
So I'm reading it.
You don't mind?
You got readers?
They're just magnifying glass.
Okay, well, that'll help.
They may not help.
Let's see. Wow. All of a sudden, I feel like I can play the keyboards, y'all. Thank you, Darwin. Growing up in the baby boomer generation, children in the 50s and 60s were afforded luxuries beyond what our parents and grandparents had for entertainment. Television sets replaced the big radios in living rooms and dens across America, but we never stayed glued to the TV for too terribly long before we had to get outside and go places. In and around Waycross, Georgia, there was plenty to do for entertainment. The Okefenokee Swamp Park, in all its vegetative vastness and Seminole splendor, was just an 8-mile car trip from the house. That's the old entrance right there, folks. Mm-hmm. It don't look like that now. That was out there on, well, I guess, would that have been right there on
US 1?
US 1?
It's got to be.
Yeah, the first entrance point. Okay. There, I would climb the rickety old lookout tower, and that thing was different back in those days than it is now, too. And gaze out over the cypress-covered land that was home to my great-great-granddaddy, Peter Griffin. That's my great-great-granddaddy, Peter. He was raised on the Cowhouse Island, which is in the northeast corner of the swamp. And he fought in the war between the states and managed to get to the end of it and come back home. Else I wouldn't be here right now.
That was your grandpa?
That was my great-great-granddaddy.
Well, you the facial...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's there.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that he was a stalwart man. Boat tours through the narrow waterways out of the Okefenokee were always fun, especially if you encountered an alligator or three. There was also a little black bear whose claim to fame was chugging a Coca-Cola from a bottle, packaged locally at the Waycross Coca-Cola Bottling Company, owned by L.B. Harrell, which I ended up working at for about a year and a half. About 4 miles out the Brunswick Highway on the right stood Lake Tuffy's, offering that was a big deal, man. That was entertainment complex right there now. That was a big old, it offered a bowling alley and a roller skating rink. We would go there for entertainment. It was right up the highway.
That's not where King's was.
It's about halfway in between, out the Brunswick Highway, about halfway in between the red light and the lake entrance.
Right.
It was out there on the right. I think there's a couple of ponds sitting there where that stood.
You remember Tuffy's on Albany?
I do remember
That's
Tuffy's.
He moved out there then, from there.
Oh, he did. That was the same guy. I always got him confused a little bit when I was younger. But yeah, there was a drive-in on Albany Avenue called Tuffy's, and it was one of the old roller skate waitresses and all.
Alec Peavy's daddy.
Alec Peavy's, was that Cobb?
Cobb's daddy.
Cobb's daddy. Okay. Okay. 5 miles further out the Brunswick Highway was the turnoff to Laura S. Walker State Park, a beautiful lake with picnic tables and a big building that housed pinball machines, a coin-operated spaceship ride for the young'uns, a jukebox that played Ackerbilk's Stranger on the Shore and Ernie Cado's Mother-in-Law, and a snack bar. The old swimming pool there was where I found the nerve to go off the high dive board, much to the dismay of my cousins who didn't get out of the way in time. My great-uncle Clyde Bo Tootin managed the Ritz Theater in downtown Waycross, where you could get in with a Mercury head dime. Once inside, we were given kinfolk privileges at the concession stand, always heading to our seats with a cardboard box top full of popcorn, Cokes, and my favorite, butter rum lifesavers. We divided our time pretty evenly between the Ritz, the Lyric Theater. That was the second theater in downtown Waycross. We divided up our time between that and the Ritz. And US 1 Drive-In Theater, which was located right out there in the triangle where you veer left to go on the US 1 north to Alma, and you take a hard right, and you're out in Jamestown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was right there in the triangle. Lord.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to the good old days?
You know, Gary, there was that was upstairs at Bombardier.
Yes. Right there where the convenience store sits, I guess.
That's right.
Was back in the 40s.
I played there.
Was another local nightclub called the Bombardier.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would cater to the Air Force men or Army men that you know, out there at the airport area was a training facility, Army base or
That's right.
Air Force or
Yep.
Army. I
Yeah.
can't remember which. That was before my time. And it was also Braves baseball training camp back in the day.
All right.
Yeah. But there was a Bombardier there, and you wound up playing that before it was gone, huh?
Yeah. Upstairs.
What was that like?
It was upstairs, you know.
Oh, yeah?
And
Is it just another nightclub,
just
huh?
another dive.
Yeah, another dive bar. Well, we divide our time pretty evenly between the Ritz and the Lyric and the US 1 Drive-In, catching every bad movie Elvis ever made, along with classics like The Longest Day, Hatari, and A Distant Trumpet. After I turned 16, I recall reveling in the risque storylines at the drive-in movies, like Candy, Fritz the Cat, and Pretty Maids All in a Row, featuring Graham Parsons' future wife, Gretchen Burrell. That would have been her, let's see. I had it pegged online. I think she's the one in right above Maids there with her elbows up against her head. I think that's Graham's future wife, Gretchen. She was once Mrs. Graham Parsons for a short while. Once licensed to drive, our weekend rite of passage was to ride around, circling the Dairy Queen, Burger Chef. That's the original Waycross Burger Chef there. Sits where, it's adjacent to, right to the right of it is where Jerry J's is now on Plant Avenue.
That was there when I was little. We would go there after ball games.
Yeah. You played the ball games at the rec center?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fred
Rec Center was right behind it back there.
Field.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. We'd circle the Dairy Queen, the Burger Chef, A&W Root Beer, and Graham's Dairy Cream in Blackshear, 9 miles up the road. When I was still a high school freshman, Mom and Daddy forced my older brother, Gary, to take me riding around with him and his buddy, Virgil Huggins. See, Gary was 3 years older than me, so he was a senior in high school when I was a freshman. And seniors didn't think it was too cool to be hauling their freshman younger brothers around in the back seat when they was out trying to probably score girls, yeah. And well, Gary didn't think it was too cool, but I was in hamburger heaven in the back seat the first time I heard Paul Marriott's achingly beautiful instrumental "Love Is Blue." That was around about 1967, 68. Another one of our favorite teenage places to land was the bowling alley. Located on Memorial Drive, sandwiched between A&W Root Beer and Shoney's. Now it's it used to be Coley Electric. I think Coley's done sold out to something else. I don't know what it is now. Probably still an electric store. While we bowled occasionally, we preferred the ladder ball on the foosball tables, spending most of our time and money spinning those little soccer guys silly. Following high school graduation and my 18th birthday in 1971, the state of Georgia lowered the legal drinking age to 18, and there were plenty of places a young man could act like somebody. I didn't know a fool thing about drinking when I eased into Steve's Pine Room just over the Satilla River towards Blackshear. I walked up to the bar and ordered a Tom Collins, probably because I'd heard somebody order one on a movie, and spent the rest of the evening trying to get the taste of pine needles out of my mouth, while watching older blonde-haired women with bouffant hairdos slide around the dance floor under the ultraviolet glow of black lights in the ceiling, illuminating their dentures and their Playtex bras to a brilliant white beneath their sweaters. I swear to God, I saw that.
Yeah,
I can't forget it.
I think that's why they come out with black lights.
As far as entertaining memories go, I just soon that last one be forever replaced by the innocence of a kiddie spaceship ride with Acker Bilt's dreamy clarinet song, "Taking Me to the Moon." You remember that song, "Stranger on the Shore"? Clarinet.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Anyhow, that's my recollection. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Well, buddy, I appreciate these. I was about to keep them.
Yeah. Hey.
They helped me get through that tale of the week just perfectly. And we appreciate having you on, Darwin.
That's good.
Sure do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
You still picking around and about, right?
I am.
Still play. Where'd you say you pick at now?
I mostly churches.
Churches,
and nursing homes.
That's right.
I go to nursing homes, and next Friday night I play usually couple nights on Friday night over at Joedy's at the seafood restaurant in Alma.
In Alma,
just outside of Alma.
I'll be dog.
Here on
I'll
US
have to
1.
keep that in mind.
So I play there.
Yeah.
In fact, Sam's going to play with me next Friday night.
All right.
And
What time y'all usually do that? About what
we
time?
start at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock? Okay.
Play till 9.
Yeah.
And you never eat over there?
I never have. I think I've heard
It's great food.
John and Rhonda, John Bennett talking
Right.
about that place.
Yep.
I think
John
they've
and them
played
plays.
there. Yeah. Mhm.
They play some and I play some but this particular next Friday night, a good friend of mine that I get together with them from time to time and we just pick, and they live up there around Eastman and he plays piano He's a good piano player, so he's going to play piano for me next Friday night.
Awesome.
And I'm going to play guitar and sing, and Sam's going to play bass. And I use an electric drum machine, a Alesis drum machine.
Yeah.
And then
That's pretty much a full band.
Crystal Murphy, she's going to come play fiddle. You know Crystal?
Man.
You know Crystal?
She's the girl from Blackshear.
Yeah.
Lives in Blackshear and has something to do with horses and...
She teaches music.
And teaches music.
Right.
She's the one that come out to listen to y'all at Plant Cafe that time that I went out to hear you.
Okay.
I can't remember. Did she sit in with y'all or anything? Fiddle player?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
She got up there and played some.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's a good person. And, you know. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Yeah. Well, we glad to have had you. And sounds to me like you just as busy as always.
Well,
so
we'll see how much longer it'll last. You know.
Well, I got faith. I got faith that you're going to be kicking for a while or still playing for a while. And, well, it's just like...
You've got something coming up where you're going to be stretched out all over the country.
Well, we're thinking about it, and we are planning. We're going to make it happen. We just don't know exactly the stops along the way. We've got a few pegged out, but it'll be Sean, and my son is the drummer for Sean's group, the Pine Box Dwellers. So it'll be the three of us and my wife going along with us to hula hoop on the side. And she makes hula hoops and she'll be going along for the ride. Mainly it's going to be a trip across country to play a few places and see the sights.
Yeah.
Because I've never been further than middle of Texas, further west. And so we're going all the way out there to California and get as many gigs as we can on the way and back. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
That I know y'all have fun doing that.
Well, it'll be one.
We just got tired of talking about it. We just said we're going.
Decided to do it.
Yeah.
No matter what, we're going.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're looking forward to that. Well, folks, we hope that y'all have enjoyed this episode of Something in the Water. We appreciate you watching and like for you to subscribe to the free podcasts here twice a month. We put them out on the 1st and the 15th at places where you can watch and listen to podcasts all over the internet. And we also have a
Patreon,
a subscription podcast over on patreon.com called The Deep End. And it's a little $5 a month subscription, and the patrons on there get to hear us cuss, which we'd never do on this podcast. I think I already did tonight.
But you search Something in the Water podcast.
That's correct. Yeah, that's right.
But we call them The Deep End.
Something in the Water, The Deep End on Patreon. And y'all remember, you can catch our guest, Mr. Darowyn Lee, in and around South Georgia in churches and Joedy's Seafood Restaurant in Alma occasionally, and he might show up at your house. You never can tell.
You can pull me up on YouTube.
You can pull him up on YouTube.
My music.
And you listen to some of them old records probably, and some of his music, some of his current music out there. So we thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
When the cold black water finds its way across through your veins, it just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate. It just might seal your fate.